Hello and welcome to the CDO magazine interview series. I'm Nazar Labunets with Ataccama, and today I have the pleasure of talking to Deval Motka, Chief Data Officer at Genesco. A topic of sustainability with solutions with data. So, what is your philosophy, in regards to building sustainable solutions? How do you approach that?
Yeah, yeah, sure. Again, I think we kind of touched upon some of it in the past conversation. I will say again, a sustainable solution is the one that can be repurposed and reused. So you have to think about it, or you have to continuously think about it, or at least you need some people on your team that are not
Mhm.
slowing you down on what you're doing right now, but that are thinking specifically about sustainability. Uh, in the world of data, you can move very fast and you can create all these siloed solutions that do not work together, right? So I am a big fan of roles such as a data modeler or a data architect or a data product owner that is constantly thinking about what next from the same thing that we are developing. I think that is one aspect of sustainability and reuse. The other aspect of sustainability would obviously uh, go through the AI means, where the AI is now generating a lot of on-point solutions for a lot of people that sometimes the technologies don't even get to know. So I
Mhm.
think to keep up with what people are doing with the chatbots and the chats and etc., and what kind of things are emerging in their business process that a technology
Mhm.
leader will have to care about almost as an after fact is also part of the sustainability that we need to solve for. I don't think I have solved it yet. And I don't
Mhm.
think it's a big problem in my organization yet, but I think it is coming. People are writing code all over the place. People are creating their own little what we used to say in the past world, um, the ad hoc ways of doing things is happening. Um, so once that happens, we will have to address that in a more sustainable manner, that it becomes safe and it becomes scalable.
Mhm.
So I
Right,
guess we
right.
will see when it comes to AI.
Yeah, I guess, you need to find a balance between like governance of these solutions and what people can do
Yep.
or allowed to do, but then you don't want to slow down all of this innovation and ideas that people want to try out, right? And
Yes.
you cannot like pitch all the time and wait for approvals. So AI kind of democratizes, this innovation and experimentation. So
Sure.
I guess we are yet to see how to properly govern, this activity.
Yeah, and I love, I try not to use the word governance, but I like how you used it. Is governance with democratization. And
Mhm.
similar thing happened in the world of self-service, right? So everybody wanted to do self-service. This was a thing some years ago. In the world of data democratization, initially it was like, can I just do it myself, right? Can you give me the data and I will make a dashboard myself, for example? And then became the world of like dashboards and 100 dashboards turned into 1,000 reports, became into thousands now, right? So then we peeled back and said, well, we need to keep governance around this because you're putting in all these metrics that people don't understand without governance. But governance became the policing term for a minute.
Mm.
So
Mhm.
I have started liking the term of governed self-service, if you will.
Mhm.
And so maybe we can again coin more of those terms around the AI, where
Yeah.
there will be governance, but that is not to slow you down, but that is to slow you down so you can move faster in a safer and scalable manner. So I think we will have to define how that looks like here in the coming months.
Right. Yeah, yeah. But this principle of governed self-service, this will live on for sure,
It will,
uh, with or without AI, right? Or whatever the next
100%.
crazy thing is coming out. Um, all right. So speaking of AI, you're obviously now in retail. So what opportunity do you see for it, in your company and your industry? And I've had just this conversation with a previous speaker, and this was very interesting. So I'm collecting use cases on the enterprise level of how you can apply, how you
Yes.
can disrupt things.
Sure. So I will say one thing is, as again, as the data people, we observe many cycles of data, right? Like there was self-service was a thing some years ago. Data warehouses was a thing even few years back before data lake came in, and then the lake houses came in, and we are all used to somewhat of the hype. And while I tend to say AI is a hype, I think there are, again, we all are watching it very carefully, is there are parts of AI that can be applied to the industries. So for retail, the one amazing thing of the generative AI is really in the creativity. So we talk about creating very personalized, thoughtful material content, whether it is for your websites or for your marketing material, or in general, any kind of content creation that is needed for a digital business is going to become very democratized. It's going to be fast, and it's going to be very, again, very eye-opening and very amazing. What I am more excited about is not just that piece, because generative AI can be applied for some of this creative stuff, but that's the end goal, right? So there are this hype of generative AI has caused, in a very good way, a storm almost on the other parts of AI. So I will say this to you. I think retail has, and much like many other industries, but retail has probably embraced AI for a pretty long time. Supply chain has embraced AI. There are endpoint solutions with AI embedded in them for a very long time. Security and the products around security that all of us use have AI inbuilt all the time. But I think what is going to be interesting is, because of this, really everybody wanting to talk about AI and seeing that their company is using AI, is we are going to see a surge in traditional AI applications. So people are wondering now, to give you more exact use cases, let's say, and I think about this all the time, is when we say we want to know our customers more and their behaviors more, I think there is a lot of simple imputations and things you can do with your machine learning and traditional AI that you can then utilize in conjunction with your generative AI to really communicate with the customer with the right size of the customers in the right way of communication that they want. So it almost becomes a cycle of applying the traditional AI to get your right audiences, to then talk to them in the way that they would connect with you by creating some of the generative AI based content, and then you could make a machine out of it relatively quickly. So I think what I'm more excited about is the traditional AI is getting a spotlight, believe it or not, because of this easiness to understand the generative AI for a lot of people.
Yeah, and it makes sense what you just said. Combining the traditional AI, so to speak, with the generative, like that use case with customer communications, or potentially, let's say, with personalized marketing, it's like makes all sense. And I think the folks at Frankel Templeton are doing exactly that, actually. As we've spoken about with our last speaker. So they're combining a lot of AI solutions in a, let's say, pipeline, and they work together, right? So, yeah, very nice. Is there anything else that you're excited about in AI, or like use cases you are, dreaming about?
Well, no, I think there
That
will
you,
be more use cases that we will have to then start prioritizing. So I'm focused on certain things based on what my observation of our industry is. There is going to be limitless applications, but I think, again, I would say personally, I am trading more carefully. So that was also a reason, like, I've stopped talking a little bit about it, because I want to go and do some homework. So I am excited. but excited with some caution.
Yeah, I see. So what do you see as, the risks and pitfalls with AI? So obviously, there's like a lot of
Mm.
use cases, and you can just blindly try things. But is there anything else?
Yeah, again, I guess that's Nazar. That's the thing that's making a lot of the people who care about privacy, and there is a lot of this. Again, the hype of AI is driving the hype of privacy, and I chuckle sometimes when people think about privacy in a certain way. So I think there is going to be a balancing act there, much like the governed self-service. There is going to be a balancing act between how do you safely innovate and consider the ethics and the privacy of the data that you are using in your AI algorithms, so that it doesn't turn around some of the things that we read in the news very recently around, the journalism and things of that nature. So I will say I am excited, but like I said, I think I'm going to continue doing what I always embrace doing is incrementality in the use cases. And then wherever applicable, we'll experiment and become better. So more to be seen. There is never a dull day.
Yeah, 100%. One more thing I wanted to ask you about is, the importance of data quality, for AI. Where do you stand on that? How big of a challenge that is?
Yeah, I know. It's a great question, Nazar. And I'm again, like I said, as a recovering technologist, I have worked on industries, especially in the world of healthcare and finance, where data quality from a reporting standpoint is the number one thing you worry about. Now you start applying like some of the other use cases on the opposite end of the spectrum, where I don't want to say data quality is not important, but it is less of just the matching of everything to make a perfect equation on what goes in, comes out of the black box, so as to speak, versus the trust in the data and the explainability of that data, right? So I think about quality really conjoined with the explainability. So as to speak, with the AI, the explainable AI is a thing, but I think the explainable data quality should also be a thing. So for example, I am a big fan of wherever you have used conditions and wherever your data drops, certain number of rows drop out in your business process, etc., because the business process commanded that we only look at certain type of um, data sets, for example. I'm a big fan of that documentation and explainability alongside the data quality, because I don't think it's the data quality's quality issue. It is the explainability and it is the understanding issue on all sides of the business, and you have to make it easy for people to really understand it. Otherwise, people will always not trust it, and then data quality will remain again a technical implementation. So I know that you guys in your business deal with and you create products that aid with data quality um, specifically, and I think the people like me would love, again, the way we tend to use it in the industry is, how do I marry up a fast implementation of a data quality product or a governance product together with everything else that I am doing in the company in the context of our business use cases. And that includes the explainability that is on us, and not just on the product that we would buy off the shelf.
Yeah, it's a fascinating concept, explainable DQ. I don't think I've ever heard that, but I think I get where you're heading with it. But I would like to stay that for a couple of more minutes. So what you're trying to say is that people first need to understand the data and then measure data quality so that they understand what a drop means or what an improvement in data quality means, or is it something else? Maybe I misunderstood you.
No, you are absolutely right. I mean, what I mean is, just to give you a specific example, let's say that you have a business process that generates some rows of information, right? Let's say I'm shipping something to a customer and it generates 10 rows of data. And when we talk about data quality now, you want to understand that what goes in a system comes out and then it is explainable, or that people understand it, that it doesn't drop anywhere else. Like, let's say if I am looking at all the customers who shopped from a certain channel, and then I'm adding all the other customers, maybe somebody shopped in 2 channels. So now the number of rows and etc. may not be the same at the end, depending on what you're looking at. So again, you look at it from a business context, but in the world of data quality, you are explaining where the drop or an increase happens at the point that it happens, and making it easy for people to consume that information, and not just keeping it again as at the technical level that somebody has to come to your data guy to explain what happened, why did this number change. So I guess all I'm saying is make it more publicly available within your business context to consume what it means to be a good data quality data set, if that makes sense.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think I understand it. Yeah, it's about, adding those explanations, that kind of metadata on top of
Exactly.
data quality and data itself. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. Thank you. So before we finish, any last words for fellow CDOs, for fellow data people and recovering technologists?
I will say again, I enjoy the community so much, especially because the roles that we play are humongous and it keeps growing. So I enjoy the community a lot, and thank you for having me as part of the community.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Deval, for joining me today. And please visit cdomagazine.tech for additional interviews.
Thank you.